What's up? It's tonight. I'm back at Talk That Talk. We are going to be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville. So it had a lot going on recently, but in this episode everybody's pretty much packing up to leave Vegas. So Tisha starts opening up to Kimmy about, how she kind of wants Marsau to spend more time with the family. And Tisha basically says, there's some sacrifices you have to make when you marry a Scott. And I think that's because both of their husbands are entrepreneurs and super high achievers when they devote all their time to their business. So family time kind of is number 2 and their business is number 1. And Tisha, I've been commenting on their marriage the last couple videos I've been doing on the reviews of this season. And Tisha seems miserable, y'all. Tisha seems miserable. She just wants her husband to be around more. She wants her husband to, give her more attention, love on her more, want to go on date nights, and want to be with her and the kids on family trips and stuff. And wants him to not talk about business when they spend private time together. She really just seems miserable, like she is holding on by a thread, and he seemed like he's holding on by a thread because he's going through his own depression issues and stuff like that. It is a whole lot about that situation. Now, Destiny extends an olive branch to Tiffany. Destiny, I gotta give you one for that, because me personally, I wouldn't be the one to initiate an olive branch. I am that stubborn. I am that stubborn when it comes to people who cross me. So for Destiny to extend an olive branch to Tiffany and basically say, let's try to fix this, and Tiffany's like, oh, let's go on a spa day or whatever, I think Tiffany's fake. Sorry, I think she's fake. So, and I think Destiny I think she already knows that, or she's going to continue to realize that. I don't think it's going to play out well. I just don't think they're ever going to mesh because of how they started. So, Destiny, big ups to you. Now, it goes into the guys, because we're still in Vegas, right? So the guys are talking. Martell, Maurice, and Marsau are talking about Marsau opening up about his depression and stuff like that. And the guys kind of admit that they're having some of the same feelings that he is. And I really do think that people who are entrepreneurs are super high achievers and put a lot of pressure on themselves to continue to do more and more and more. And sometimes it's to the point where you're just never satisfied. And just I think Maurice said, even when you have a staff that you're trying to make sure still gets a paycheck every week. So you're constantly working, pressure, stress, constantly trying to strive for more, and it's really no breaks. So that really can lead to, some mental health issues or whatever. And if you are going through that, please talk to somebody. It's real life stuff. So I think some of the guys related to Marsau and how he was feeling with all of that. Now, everybody's out of Vegas, right? So Tiffany's been hitting up Mel, and she ain't been responding to her text messages. I thought that was funny. So Mel is like, I had a lot going on in Vegas. I'm sorry I didn't text you back. Whatever. And Tiffany, I guess, works with Mel business-wise. That's how we were introduced to her. And she's trying to get some business things handled for Mel. But Melody is, slacking. But they talk about how Destiny and Tiffany are going to basically try to hash things out and get back on a good page. Whatever. And I really think that whole them hashing it out is for the show. I really do. I really don't think Destiny can you really imagine Destiny with her personality, okay? And how she was ready to take her outside. Meet her in the parking lot type of stuff. Is going to sit there and be at a spa with Tiffany trying to be all kikiing and happy friends. Girl, bye. Destiny is not that stuff. Please. I can't wait to see how that plays out, because it's done. It is completely done. Now we going into Marsau and Tisha with Kimmy and Maurice going to dinner, because they want to talk to Marsau about his depression. Now, I was kind of getting vibes that they think that Marsau was like suicidal, like how they were talking about it. Depression is very serious, but like I just felt like the approach was like, oh, we need to talk to you because we don't want you to be like, you know, doing anything crazy to harm yourself. And I really didn't get that vibe from Marsau or whatever. That man just stressed out, and it's affecting him mentally and spiritually, and he's at a low vibration right now. That's how I felt about it. But I just felt like they need to just hear him out, instead of just thinking that he's gonna harm himself, or like sharing these experiences of other people who may have harmed themselves, and just hear the man out and, you know, guide him to like speaking to somebody. So he had said, because Tisha, I thought this was funny. Tisha was like, tell me how I can help you, because she had no idea about this, which I'm not surprised about. You know, here's the thing. I understand why Tisha was offended that Marsau didn't tell her that he felt depressed or anything like that. But at the same time, I think Kimmy was right to say sometimes it can be your spouse causing you those negative feelings. Sometimes it can be your family. Sometimes it can be friends. Sometimes it can be work. Sometimes you don't even know what it is. You know, you just off. But it takes a lot to open up to anybody about that, even the people closest to you. And I don't really think that, like, with him in this place where he's finally being open about it, is the time to start shifting the direction of where you need to go. Instead of supporting the person and hearing them out, listen, trying to figure out how you can help them, you're now shifting it to, why didn't you tell me? That's not where we need to focus. We need to focus on, okay, you opened up about it. Shoot, I wish he would have told me privately, or I wish he would have told me just me and him, or I wish I would have been the first to know. You got to swallow that and just say, okay, let's go into support mode. You can't like just focus on, why didn't you tell me, blah, blah, blah. And now like Tisha's saying, oh, whatever I can do to help you, let me know. And then he goes, well, I think you can listen more. And he was snappy with that response, so she wasn't going to take that well anyway. But he was like, I think you should listen more. And then she goes into basically saying, well, you're not going to blame me for all. And it's just like, you are, Tisha, you are going in the wrong direction about this. You're being too defensive. If he's saying listen more, and you disagree with that, you feel like you already listened to him a lot, you may have to swallow this one. You may have to swallow it, you know, and call him out on it later. Just if he's in a place where he wants to open up and just spill stuff out, just listen to it. Just be a listener for one day, for day one. Day two, you can say, okay, this is what I heard you say. This is how I feel about X, Y, and Z. You know, how I listen to you or you listen to me, and this is how we can work on that. You're going to have to play listener on day one. And then day two, you can't just come at them like, oh, I'm coming at you, I'm doing this, You gotta come different. You gotta come different, because the key is you want him to open up and share the feelings that he's been holding in, because men don't say nothing. So once he's in that space, get it all out of him and just be a listener. Day two, then start to break down the issues and address everything. Okay, it's gonna be a slow, long process with that. But I felt like she was being too defensive or whatever. I agreed with her with how Tisha felt. Like Kimmy was saying, oh, it could be your spouse. How Tisha took that so personally. Anybody would take that personally. But I feel like you gotta step, like when somebody's in this situation, like they're depressed or whatever, you gotta take your feelings out of it. And you gotta like really say, okay, it could be me. Oh dang, I don't think it's me, but maybe it is. Oh, it could be this person, it could be work, or you know, you gotta take your feelings out of it and just focus on finding out what the issue is and addressing the issue. But she was being too defensive for me. Now, this part where Martell confronts Melody about having the kids full time. Martell knew daggone well if he asked Melody for those kids full time, it was gonna go crazy. You don't ask not no wife, ex-wife, baby mama, girlfriend, whoever, can you have primary custody of the kids if that's an active mom and think that it's gonna go great. No way. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. So there's dads who have primary custody of kids because maybe the mother's unfit. Like there's real reasons, or like whatever, you know. I'm not saying that a dad can't have primary custody. I just haven't seen enough of it go well and go like that. Now, when Martell was asking, was saying Melody has a lot of babysitters. He doesn't want his kids to be raised by babysitters, and he would want custody of the kids. In my head, I'm like, Martell, why not just ask her that if she needs a babysitter, to just call you first to see if you could babysit the kids? And when he asked her, when he said that, I was like, yes, okay. Because I don't know why that's not happening. Probably because of the dynamic between them two. Because if Mel needs a babysitter, why not call their father? If you're in the same state, if they're not in Atlanta, why not call their father and say, hey, can you babysit them? You know? Like, I think that these two are so petty against each other that they are ruining how smoothly this co-parenting can go. Okay, Mel can't stand Martell, and I understand that. Martell, one day he can't stand Melody, and one day he want her back. I understand that. But if you need a babysitter and you in the same state, see if that man can watch y'all kids. That's an easy one. If he at least act like you know, okay, I reached out. Martell said he couldn't do it, or he didn't respond in time. I'm gonna go get my usual babysitter. If you need that. Melody is over here on her independent woman. I'm gonna have a million businesses, and she on her Candy Burrish-ish. But I love Candy Burrish, but Candy Burrish is not around all the time to fully be around with her kids all the time. That was shown in the Housewives episodes, that she don't be around all the time. Riley says she shouldn't have more kids because she's not around. So that's a sacrifice that you make. The same thing that Marsau and Maurice is going through. As business owners, you sacrifice family time. So Melody, I want you to have as many businesses as possible and they all thrive and be successful. But I understand why she needs babysitters, because she's having speaking events or she has these businesses that she's managing and the kids can't always tag along, you know. But I wish that they were in a better place where they actually could truly be cordial, and that hate for each other was out of the picture now. So that she's like, oh, I got a speaking event, Martell. Can you watch the kids for 2 or 3 hours? Okay, cool. I'm going to come get them after. You know, and she finish up her week with the kids, and then he gets his week next week. So it's just like, cause since there's still, it's fresh, it's still fresh, you know, and they constantly having to relive it through the show. They can't get to a place where they can respectfully and peacefully co-parent their kids, and it is driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy to watch it, because like I understand where Martell is coming from. But at the same time, I think he's being petty by trying to say she got all these babysitters, this one's unfit, da 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 da. I feel like he just says things out of his behind to get under Mel's skin. You know? What's wrong with having a babysitter? There's nothing wrong with having a babysitter, whether you got your mama watching them, whether you got your sister or brother, whether you got a cousin. You can have multiple people on a list that are family members or close friends or people you trust that can possibly be available to watch your kids if you needed it. That's totally fine. You know, it's totally fine. But I do think he should get a phone call if she needs a babysitter. I do think Martell should know if she needs a babysitter and if he's available. I do think he should get a call about that. You know, but I'm just sick of seeing them nitpick everything, and it's just like what Martell said to Lewis. Like, Mel knows all the buttons to push him, and he knows all the buttons to push her off the edge. And it's just toxic. I'm tired of watching it. I'm tired of it. tired of it and they needed to get it together. Honestly, to be completely honest, this show is great, but it's gonna get old really soon. This whole Mel and Martell thing is gonna get old really freaking soon. So I'm glad that we're getting more of Tisha and Marsau's situation, but we already had that before. Who else we getting into? Because Tiffany and Louis ain't it right now. You know, Tiffany's getting into it with the ladies, but we don't know much about their marriage, so we'll see. But I think we need a few more players in this show. I think we need a few more players. I think we need another couple, and you know, get into some other stuff, because I know the show is based around Mel and Martell, but their story's dying out. Like, if we going into next season still on Mel and Martell, you may have one more season of that. I think we need something else to, you know, keep it fresh and spice it up. I mean, we've been talking about Mel and Martell's whole cheating thing and divorce thing for 3 seasons now. I think it's getting pretty old. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.